And
And call.
a good fold of ace-queen early on as well.
I get 5 queens from you, please, sir.
So, we're heads up. Jack-queen against king-ace.
Yeah, I think this is probably 2 mistakes already for Murat in this hand. Limping in, I think, is pretty bad mistake, actually. And then
King,
calling a raise with this
2,
kind of hand out of position against an experienced player is probably not a great way to play. As it happens, it's a pretty action flop. Top pair for Mickey and up and down for Murat. So I guess Murat's planning to check and call here.
player bet 700.
I might prefer checking and raising, although in this situation where Mickey's got ace-king, it probably wouldn't be a very successful play.
1650 in the pot, 700 to see a turn card.
He's decided to call 700. This is the kind of reason that I don't like limping in the first place with this hand. You start to get yourself into trouble. He's already put about 10% of his chips in to this pot with no real idea of where he's going in the hand. And now the worst thing that can possibly happen, he's hit a queen, which probably makes him think he might be winning. He's probably going to do even more money here, and then, unless he hits a 9 or ace on the river, or a jack, or a queen.
And 7.
But it's a blank.
Bet.
Yeah, I'm guessing he's going to check, and Mickey should really make a value bet here. Somewhere in the region of 1400 would be a good bet, and he'll probably get paid off, but I fear he might just check, though.
Flush draw wouldn't scare him?
No, I don't think he can possibly put him on a backdoor flush draw. He's going for a value bet.
1200 to play.
1200 is a good size bet, and I'm guessing really Murat has to call him here. He doesn't really like it, but again, one small mistake has magnified several times over here. He's going to end up doing about 2,500 in a bit of a nothing pot with no real hand. It's tempting to call though. It's 1,200 and there's 3.5 grand in there.
He's definitely thinking about it. I think he's regretting that he ever got involved in this hand in the first place.
Yeah, I think next time he's dealt Queen Jack in early position, he might fold it. If he knew that Mickey Finn has a reputation internationally of being quite a tight player, he might have folded that one, but it looks like tempting odds.
Well, you can't resist. The 1,200 goes in, and, well, I think it's 59.50 altogether. It goes over Mickey Finn's side of the table.
Yeah, I think that has to go down as an error, really. Mickey played it well, though, and extracted, I think, the maximum.
100 to play.
Well, the young Turkish man, Murat Yalçın, who resides in Skerries, Dublin, will hopefully learn his lesson.
Call.
Look at this. Again, Mickey Finn. Big hand. Ace-king to ace-queen.
Yeah, this one I don't mind the limp so much. Early in the tournament, I wouldn't want to get too overly involved with a hand like ace-queen offsuit from early position. So limping, now if there's a raise and a re-raise, you can just throw it away and it doesn't cost you too much. If you get one raise, you can have a look and decide who the guy is and whether you want to play him. But again, he's out of position. It's a pretty decent hand, ace-queen, but it's not that great, and he's probably going to get away from it just losing 100 in this pot.
Player bet 300.
That's a pretty smart play by Mickey.
So strange to have so many players involved in the hand. We're 5-handed here. An interesting fact that I noticed, Yalçın's hit the 3, but yet is still an underdog to Finn. There we go. The stats have fixed themselves up. We've lost one out. They're about 25% each, well, 33, 34% each.
Yeah, Richard Ashby can hit a 5 to make a gut shot straight, or a 7 and a 6 for his pair to go in front.
2.
A 5 would be a great card for him, but...
And check.
A 5, a 6, or a 7 for Ashby.
The deuce, of course, giving Murat the up and down, but now Richard Ashby...
hits a 7 on the river.
He's made a bigger 2 pair. And he's gone for the value bet this time. He missed a couple of value bets earlier, but he's bet 600 into 11. I like this bet. I think it's he's correctly figured out that he's in front, and he wants to squeeze a bit of extra value. These extra little bits soon add up, and this is where the best players get their chips from early on.
And again,
On the backs, please.
Yalçın can't help but call.
Yeah, that one was less understandable, really. The previous hand, Murat called on the river. You know, the pot got quite big, and there's a bit of money out there, and he probably feels like, you know, I'm already sucked into this one. That one just felt like a bit of a waste of 600, really.
You don't think it's a matter of purchasing information?
I think the information's too expensive.
Yeah.
Well, maybe now people will think he might be looking like he's steaming or he's involved in a lot of pots. He's picked up the ace. It's always a good time to get them. There's never a bad time. He's gone for a 350 raise. The internet kids wouldn't be approving of that. But, maybe try 275 next time, Murat.
Can I get 2 reds, please?
The really funky one's like a 225.
222 and 222.4.
60 change.
Dealer Lisa Condon dealing with the change there, no problem at all.
5, 10.
Very experienced dealer.
No checks.
So, Ashby's hit a 6 here. Middle pair, rainbow flop.
500. Call.
Yeltsin gets 500 out of him.
Yeah, Richard probably thinking I'll have another look on the turn, see if I can make 2 pair or pick up a flush draw. The board pairing the 5s, probably he realises probably a bad card for him.
1,000 to play.
And I'm imagining Richard will just fold now. On the flop, he was definitely thinking he had another draw with the flush, backdoor flush draw. And, oh, this is a bit of a weak call. I don't like this play from Richard. Possibly he's thinking that Yeltsin might be slightly steaming from before. But we haven't seen Yeltsin play very aggressively yet. He's mostly been calling, and I think when a guy like that shows you a bit of interest in a pot and he wants to play with a bit of aggression, I'll probably give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
2,000.
That's a good bet. I like that. 2,000 into 37.50. It's tempting for Richard. He's going to get about 3 to 1 on his money, and having called the 1,000 on the turn, he might be tempted, but I think he's going to throw it away. His body language doesn't look like he's in love with it.
He's almost got 2,000 of his own chips in this pot already.
I think he's beginning to regret putting 1,000 in on the turn.
Looked like he was thinking about it all in there for a second.
I think he's just testing Murat out there, just trying out his body language. But he's gone for the call, and I think he's going to be cross with himself, Richard. He's probably done 3,000 more than he should have done there.
So, there you have it. It's going to hot up after the break. We've got faces like Paul, the Dice Man, Maro, Dan Harrington, and of course, Donncha D will be making their cameos. A little known fact about Donncha is, not only is he championing our nation at the poker tables, but he's also represented us at the Olympics in swimming. Now, whether he was in a toga at the Acropolis is not yet confirmed, but we'll see you and him, after the break.
I'm here on the first tee of the golf course at City West with the one and only Dan Harrington. Dan, how are you?
Rebecca, I'm fine.
So tell me, how did you get on the tournament? How do you feel about it here?
Well, first of all, this is my ancestral home. Both my parents were born in Ireland. My mom was born in Waterford. My dad was born in County Cork. So I feel like I'm coming back home when I visit Dublin. I love it over here. I have lots of friends that are from Ireland and also from the mainland on Europe, and I get a chance to renew old acquaintances. I would love to win the Irish Open.
As would I, Dan. So here we go, our next bevy of beauties at the feature table. In position 1, Tom Kitt, under the Irish tricolour. Right beside him, Paul Maro, under the Union Jack. Position 3, one of Ireland's famous faces, Donncha D, and Kevin Curran, just to his left. Next up, Mick Donoghue. Phil's 5th position, and seat 6 is Artem Kudaverdi. Glad I got that one right. There's Dan Harrington, seated in position 7, and last but by no accounts least, Annette O'Carroll, Phil's seat number 8. So, we are right-handed. Blinds commence at 75, 150, and thankfully, we still got the lovely Neil Channing in the commentary box with us.
Well, I'm excited to see Paul Maro here. Last time I played with Paul Maro in Ireland, he was on TV, and he did the most spectacular bluff I think I've ever seen in my life.
You're going to have to explain it to us now.
I can't. I mean, it was ridiculous and magical all at the same time. But he's a special guy, and he does some crazy stuff.
Raise 275.